Welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy, I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry. Today I'd like to talk to you of another underrated film that I believe you should check out. And again, this is another film that's currently available to free watch online. And this is another of those incidents where I had family members trying to get me to watch certain actors do certain movies, and it just took some time until I decided to give in. I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And this is a Jean-Claude Van Damme film. And this is TIMECOP. Starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. Directed by Peter Hamons. Also starring Mia Sara. Nice looking lady. Ron Silver. And the story centers around Max Walker, an officer, security guard who, well, not security guard, cop who eventually becomes a time travel police officer who is trying to desperately prevent the death of his wife from a shady politician who is trying to uniquely control the concept of time travel. And this is a unique film. And I thought it's one of those movies. Well, I'll be honest, I wasn't much of a Jean Claude Van Damme fan growing up. I was more into Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and all that. But I ended up eventually did watching Bloodsport, which was good. It's kind of one of the granddaddies of those movies where you have and also the Karate Kid of those, action, drama, martial art tournament movies. But this here, sci-fi time travel. Uh, Again, this is one of those uniquely sci-fi films, um, where I thought they've tried to explore a unique concept while delivering some pretty good action sequences. Even though I had issues with the editing to certain, um, yeah, scenes in there. Which is most likely a you know something I didn't notice, but now it's one of those quick cut kind of somewhat action sequences you kind of get, and that was something I thought was a little bit nerve wracking when you see Jean Claude doing these action sequences because some pretty good action up in here. Um, I really liked the which most specifically, I was really interested into the concept, but there were some pretty good action sequences that I really enjoyed, minus some of the fight scenes. I thought they looked a little bit too choppy, cutty around the areas, um, and too many angles to cover those fight scenes. But again, I mean, I'm not an editor, so I can only imagine you can get so much coverage in trying your best of getting the best shots to, make a good scene look good, especially for action. Okay, I'm not gonna go out there and saying you should have done this, you should have done that, because filmmaking is hard. Being that said, uh, I really liked this film. This was, I would say, Jean Claude Van Damme's what is his most unique performances that I've seen. I thought he delivered a good balance of drama and action with this. You see a guy, and it's kind of a guilty pleasure of seeing certain characters who are somewhat on a revenge path of you're seeing something that's on the character's mind that there could be guilt, it could be so many different things that is clouding their I guess you would say their way to seek peace. So they're looking for a way to figure out to uh unlift their trauma to fight off whatever is holding them back from moving on from their life from their life that's holding them back. And I thought he played the character Max Walker very well, and I love the concept. The concept is so interesting. There are certain things that do go on into the movie, like you really root for, and this is what I miss about action movies. They don't normally do this anymore. Uh, where they where they write a very memorable but likable and strong heroic character that may seem kind of maybe beyond belief, but it's realistic enough to inspire you to be like that character, despite knowing what that character is tragically facing. You see the character going through limbs, going through tough challenges to trying to trying to do the right thing, and you see that with this movie, and I'm glad I finally had the chance to watch it. The actor Ron Silver, which I looked into his filmography a little bit. He's done mostly TV shows, and man, this guy was phenomenal as the villain. This is probably one of the best acting I've seen from any actor who played a bad guy that is not no comic book or anything. Like I was so engaged with what this guy was doing, and this dude was just menacing. Man, and I unfortunately this actor passed away years ago, and he was phenomenal. Uh, like I don't know what else to say besides this guy was just was very good. He was funny. He was crazy good. A very good villain. Very good villain. Ron Silver. Very good villain. Now again, the movie is in the '90s, so there are certain ideas of what the future would look like because the movie takes place in '94 and then in 2004, where they had some unique sci-fi concepts here where that just doesn't hold up. It is 2024. That's 20 years ago. So it's just kind of funny when you see certain ideas that are introduced here for a sci-fi setting, and you know it way past that time where the movie takes place. Because especially the cars, I'm looking at the cars that the movie that that you see in the future, and it look like giant toys. So of course, since this is an old movie, production value does not hold up. But it's what the concept of this movie is really what sells it, and I think this is a great Jean Claude Van Damme film. Uh, and I know it's one of those. Well, hey, if you're good at something, stick with that thing maybe for a while and do your thing, especially if you're that good at it. Because I know the guy was popular in mid '80s through the mid '90s, so he was cool for at least a good I think 10 years of his Hollywood fame of an action star. Um, Honestly, I don't really have anything bad to say about this film except it's a cheesy sci-fi action film. If you're a diehard Jean Claude Van Damme a fan, I do recommend checking this out. If you miss action movies of that era and don't bother watching the straight to DVD TV movies that tries to recapture that vibe, well, but hey, go on. I think this film is Jean Claude Van Damme's, at least for me, probably is one of his best movies. I had a great time with this, and definitely an underrated picture for sure. Time Cop, have you seen it? Comment below. Let me know if you have, and let me know what is your favorite underrated movie.